We will not give up until we achieve our rights. We don't want our rights to be violated. We want our rights as promised by President Ashraf Ghani and Chief Executive Abdullah.
Afghanistan suffered another set of Taliban attacks this week. At least 26 soldiers were killed at an army base in Kandahar. And 2 districts in northern and central Afghanistan were overrun after days of fighting. As attacks become more frequent, human rights campaigners say a major hindrance to the country's security is not only the growing threat from the Taliban, but a game of identity politics that is eroding the government's ability to keep people safe. They say that minorities are repressed and that Pashtuns dominate Ashraf Ghani's inner circle. Well, joining me now from Dubai is Fatima Gailani. She's the head of the Red Crescent Society's programs in GCC countries, and she once oversaw its operations in Afghanistan. Fatima Gailani, great to have you on the program. So we've seen these attacks in Kandahar, attacks across the country, Taliban resurgent, Daesh even resurgent in Afghanistan. There are those that say it's being made worse by the fact that the government is being tribal, that it's preferring Pashtuns to Tajiks, to Uzbeks, to Hazaras and others. Is that happening, and are they making it worse?
Absolutely not. Look at the Afghan constitution. Every ethnic group, every sect in Islam has been dealt with very fairly, and we live together for centuries. Look at the cabinet. We have Shias in the cabinet. We have Sunnis, Pashtuns, Tajik, Uzbeks, women, young people with experience. This is absolutely untrue, and it is possible that some people, they will have it in their heart to play this game. But I don't think that this is a game from the government or from those people who are seriously in politics.
And I understand you helped draft that constitution. Is it possible that the constitution is fantastic on paper, but in practice, the Afghan government is struggling to actually get it to express itself in proper politics, and we're seeing the old tribalism come back?
Well, I mean, look at the composition of the government, the cabinet, whether it was during President Karzai or today during President Ghani. Look at it. Which other country around us will have that kind of small minorities, whether it is ethnic minority or in minority in Islam sects, accommodated in the government? Now I am again saying that this is not a policy of not just the government. It is not the policy of anyone who wants to have a credible future in the politics of Afghanistan. It is not working. Yes, from outside, from the day one that the Soviet invasion happened in Afghanistan, it has been tried over and over again that the languages of Afghanistan, that beauty of Afghanistan, that different ethnic groups, different languages, and the different sects of Islam should be played and people should fight over it. Sometimes they succeeded, but overall they didn't succeed.
Right.
Anything which happens in the streets of Kabul, whether it is a car bomb, whether it is a road mine, it has only the biggest result, which is the victims are civilians.
Right.
And those civilians, they don't, when they die, no one asks them that they have what language they speak, what ethnic group they belong to. Everyone dies in those kind of things.
Understood. And before I move on to asking you who's to blame for these attacks, if you just allow me to mention again that a few weeks ago there was a meeting in Istanbul between many Afghan tribal leaders, Uzbeks, Hazaras, Tajiks. They felt they were being sidelined in Kabul by what they termed a sort of Pashtun clique. There are those who also say that Ahmed Zia Massoud, a Tajik, was fired by Ashraf Ghani because he's a Tajik and because the balance of power is now predominantly with Pashtuns. What's your message to them that they're wrong? If you could directly speak to them.
Well, yes, well, actually, you know that I keep a very neutral view, and I would be very sorry if I hear that from them, because they have played a very important role in the politics of Afghanistan yesterday and today. I mean, these same people that you named them, they had very important post after the presidency. Majority of people in Afghanistan, they believe that we have to be fair. We believe that our vote should not be more than one. My ideas, my ethnic groups should not have more force than one vote, and that's it. I come from the smallest ethnic group of Afghanistan, which are the Arabs of Afghanistan. I never felt that I was marginalized. I got the posts and the status that was worthy of my capacity and my capability. And I don't think the others will do that.
Now, let me ask you, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, and I think you've emphatically, said it, and we know where you stand on this issue. The security situation is horrendous in the country. So many people are absolutely depressed about what's going on in Afghanistan after so much hope. We see bombs in the capital, bombs in the south, bombs everywhere. Nobody is safe. Who do you blame for that insecurity? Is it the president?
Well, it's very easy. It is very easy to turn the finger to the president or the government in general. But my hope is that, yes, my hope was that the security will become better than during President Karzai, and I still hope that it should become better. I, as the former president of the Afghan Red Crescent Society, I saw what happens to those families. I dealt with those widows. We took under the wing of our national society, the Afghan Red Crescent Society, those orphans that overnight they lost everyone. Quite frankly, whoever's fault it is, we have to do our best. It is very easy to say whose fault, or sometimes it's very difficult to say whose fault because we don't know. But one thing I know, that if we are sincere, not just Afghans within the country, but our neighbors, our friends, those who help us, if all of us will try and give a chance for peace, inshallah it will happen. People of Afghanistan has no desire better than peace and security. When they send their children to school, they don't know if they are coming back or not. So Afghanistan should not be safe only for those people sitting in armored cars. It should be safe for everybody.
The Taliban,
every Afghan,
certainly,
no matter what language they speak, no matter what ethnic group they have.
I want to ask you very briefly, in the shortest way possible. The Taliban is resurgent. They control a big chunk of the country. Would you ever consider them to be brothers as a part of the future solution of the country?
When we talk about peace, we have to talk with everybody. If we don't talk with everybody, then peace with whom? This is my answer.
Fatima Gailani, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for taking the time, ma'am.
Thank you.